Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurulmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivan Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhavitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama
Ram
Rama
Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. Please accept our humble obeisances on from everybody who have joined the group and are about to join. Prabhuji, thank you for giving your precious time to us week in, week out. You never miss this service and we are really, really grateful. Prabhuji, we are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 2, Chapter 10, and the verse for today, Prabhuji, is verse 27 and 28. I hand over to you, Prabhuji.
Narayan Namaskrityam Naruchaiva Naruttamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudирayet Nashta Prayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Seveya Bhagavate Yatam Shloke Bhakti Bhaktina Ishtaki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 27. Utsishrakshor dhatu malam nirabhidhyata vai gudam tata payus tato mitra utsarga ubhaya ashraya. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada. Thereafter, when he desired to equate the refuse of eatables, the evacuating whole anus, and the sensory organ thereof developed along with the controlling deity Mitra. The sensory organ and the evacuating substance are both under the shelter of the controlling deity. It's only one line purport, I'll read. Even in the matter of evacuating stool, the refuge is controlled. So how can the living entity claim to be independent? We also move on to 28, then we'll discuss both of them. Ashish Prasho Pura Purya Nabi Dwaram Apanataha Tatrapanas Tato Mrutyu Prathatvam Ubayo Ashrayam. Thereafter, when he desired to move from one body to another, the navel and the air of departure and death were combinedly created. The navel is a shelter for both, namely death and the separating force. Mataji, you can read the purport.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Pranvayu continues the life and the Aparna Vayu stops the living force. Both the vibrations are generated from the abdominal hole, the navel. This navel is the joint from one body to another. Lord Brahma was born of the abdominal hole of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu as a separate body, and the same principle is followed even in the birth of an ordinary body. The body of the child develops from the body of the mother, and when the child is separated from the body of the mother, it's separated by cutting the navel joint. And that is the way the Supreme Lord manifested himself as separated many. The living entities are therefore separated parts, and thus they have no independence. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So in the verse number 26, speaks about how the deity known as Mitra, the Lord kept that deity for the evacuating. Now here it says that to evacuate the refuse of eatables. If you eat, then the refuse also comes out. And you'll find that if you have a problem of releasing it, then you get a constipation and it leads to so many problems. So there is a deity controlling this evacuating hall, which is called the anus. And the sensory organ, therefore, developed along with the controlling deity, Mitra. And the sensory organ and evacuating substance are both under the shelter of the controlling deity. It means we are not independent. We find that everyone has, you get hunger, which is going to be mentioned in the few verses to come. When the hunger, Sri Prabhupada explains that hunger is created by fire in the stomach. And that fire, when it starts becoming more, you feel hungry. At that time, you eat. And then after eating, the digestion takes place in the intestines. And then later on, the refuse is then ejected. You can't just eject it. There is a process. So both the anus and what you call the organ are the mercy of Krishna or mercy of the Supreme Lord or the Virat Rupa, who does all this work. So you should remember this name Mitra. Mitra means the controlling deity for the anus. And you'll find that eating process itself is explained in many, many times. Even in the 15th chapter, Krishna says that Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Pranina Pranadehina. In that verse, he says, I am in your stomach. The Lord is also in the stomach. And he accepts 4 kinds of food. Foods which you can chew, food which you can suck, food which you can drink, and food which you can lick. Such kinds of foods are processed in the stomach. And if the stomach is not good, then it leads to so many diseases. In the same way, after eating, it takes time to create the refuse, and the refuse has to be evacuated. And all this is done by the Lord himself. So I don't know if you know the story of, it appears in the 9th canto. I think I have told you the story in case you've not heard it, or if you have heard it, you can hear it again. The story is known as a princess known as Sukanya. Sukanya was visiting one sage in an ashram with his father. Father is known as Sharyati. And as they entered, and they were trying to look for the sage, the girl was very small, maybe around 15, 16 years old. And she saw a heap of soil. And in the soil, there were 2 holes. Now, this was not soil, actually. It was an anthill. I think everybody knows an anthill. So mistakenly, she didn't know. She took some sharp object, 2 straws, and she poked those shining objects, and she noticed blood coming out. And she was scared now because she saw blood. She didn't tell her father, but the result was that the king, Saryati, along with his ministers and the soldiers, they all had a problem with evacuating. They could not evacuate. And people were feeling very heavy in the burden. Imagine in the morning, if you can't evacuate, you'll have so much problem. And it's very, very painful. Till we go to the toilet and finish our job, then we feel comfortable. And I remember, younger days, the boys are always mischievous. They made a slogan. I am so happy that I can shit. The meaning is I can pass on, so I'm so happy. Well, it's so funny, but it is a fact. So anyway, what happened is that when then Sharaditi was quite Krishna conscious, he realized that some offense has been committed in this place, that we are all having this problem. So meantime, the daughter came and explained the father what happened. And when they brought the anthill, the Chavan Rishi was sitting inside, imagine it. He was sitting inside, meditating for so many years. So they knew that if he becomes angry, he was an elderly person, maybe in his 60s, and the girl was only 15 years old. So before he could pronounce a curse, he told the Rishi that my girl has committed an offense. I'm offering my daughter to you. In this way, he doesn't become angry. It's a long story. We won't go to the story. This is the story of Sukanya. That incident, I remember that if you can't evacuate, you will have a lot of problems. That's why we need most doctors. I think we already have a doctor, Kirti Mataji. Kirtika Mataji, she can advise you better. That you need to drink water also throughout your day, at least little, so that when you pass, it becomes easier. And then you have to have a balanced diet. So anyway, we won't go into that. There's more or less of biology and medicine. We move to text 28. Thereafter, when he desired to move from one body to another, the navel and the air of departure, and that combinedly created. The navel is a shelter for both, namely that and the separating force. So we all have a navel. We don't take it as very important, but it is actually very important. Why? Because navel is considered to be the center part of the body. And it is very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. There are some Ayurvedic systems in which they tell you to keep the navel clean and apply oil on it. So to keep your body healthy. So here Sri Prabhupada explains that the body has many, many airs. We had read this in Bhagavad Gita. Udan, Apan, Saman, Vyan, and Prana. So here Prana and Apana as mentioned. Prana Vayu, which is equivalent to oxygen, it sustains your life. The moment the oxygen gets leaked, you're going to die. That is for sure. Even the doctors agree with that. So to keep ourselves alive, the Prana Vayu sustains our life. So in other words, that's the sustaining air. So it's called Prana Vayu. Vayu means air. There are 5 kinds of airs in the body, which are always active. There's a body, there's an air, which is called Apana, which when you are not happy, Apana goes down. You feel some air going down. Just like when you're not in a good mood, you don't feel good, your shoulders even go down. If I'm not wrong, you don't feel good. And the opposite is Vyana. The air goes up. Then Udana, Apana, Vyana. Udan is the one which goes up. And Vyana means, Samana means it keeps you stable. If that air is not there, you can fall down. And Prana is the last air. When you are dying, it leaves the body. As far as the prana is there, you can't die. That's why there's a saying in the Indian language, when someone dies, that his prana is gone. Prana is gone means now is left. Now, of course, today doctors try to make a report of death, heart failure, kidney failure, lung failure, and so on and so on. But the Ayurveda says no, it's the air which is gone, which is sustaining the body. As soon as it leaves, and what makes the death come is the apana vayu. It presses so much down that you have to leave. And the air will leave. Just like you take a balloon filled with air, and if it's a strong kind of balloon, you have to press till all the air comes out. In the similar way, where as soon as the pranavayu leaves, the death takes place. Now, both the generating machine for both is the navel. The navel is the central part. You find that even when you're singing, you find the air coming out. And those who are good singers or regular singers, they know that the strength comes even starting from the navel. You have to press the navel inside to sing and speak very nicely. So this is natural, and it is there in all of us. In other words, the Supreme Lord or Krishna is maintaining our life through all these airs. Next, he says, even Brahma was created from the navel of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. We all know that Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, the picture is very famous, all of you know that. From his navel came out a lotus. And on the lotus, he gave birth to Brahma. And in that lotus, all the living entities were there, who had not yet taken forms. So Brahma, he gives forms to all those living entities. It's a massive lotus. So if you can understand the Bhagavatam nicely, you will realize that the father of Brahma is the Supreme Lord, or from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is an expansion of Krishna. And this way the birth takes place. In the similar way, even the birth of a human being, if you take the X-ray, you see it's hanging in the, what do you call, the bag, in the mother's, what do you call that bag? Motherji, what do you call that bag in which the child is?
In the uterus, it's
Yes, in the uterus.
the embryo is in the uterus.
Yeah, in the uterus, and then there's the umbilical cord, in which all the supplies are given, including oxygen. It goes in, the air goes in, the air goes out, the food goes in, the liquid goes in. In this way, the child is maintained for 9 months. Now, if you go to Bhagavatam, especially if you go to the teachings of Kapila Muni, there's a whole chapter. In the 3rd canto, I think there's a chapter where it teaches you different things, how a child is born. A child is born, and then it teaches you from conception to the birth. During the conceiving, you should hear Prabhupada commenting on this. Prabhupada says, don't think it is just a seed. The sperms come from the male, and there is a liquid which comes from the woman, both combined together. And then it becomes like a peanut in the beginning. And Prabhupada comments that there is already life in it. And as it grows, then the holes will appear. And those holes will become into different senses. Eyes, ears, nostrils, mouth, anus, genitals, everything. 9 holes are visible. Even at the 3 months, you can see of a fetus. And then later on, at the 7th month, the Krishna makes the child awaken. So you feel the child become conscious at the age of, when the fetus becomes 7 months old. And at the 9th or 10th month, it takes birth. So this is very well explained in this Srimad Bhagavatam, in the teachings of Kapila Muni, how a child is born. I mean, even before born, what happens? Before born, we find that how a living entity creates his karma, prepares his next body. And if he's becoming a human being, he's planted into a woman by the male. Just like we plant a seed in the similar way. And then how the growth takes place. Day by day, month by month. That's why the 7th month, there is a ceremony we do, Shimanta ceremony, in which we want a healthy child to take birth. And the 9th month, the child takes birth. And when it takes birth, the umbilical cord has to be cut. In the Vedic times, the mothers did not have to go to doctor, because the barbers, the barbers, their wives were expert. They knew how to cut the umbilical cord with a shaving knife. They were all experts. And there used to be separate rooms or houses where a mother can give birth, and she's taken care by nurses. Nurses means elderly women. Those elderly women, they do good job. And then the child, when it was born, it was given to the mother. And all that pain is forgotten naturally, the labor pain, simply by looking at the child. So this is, you can read this very nicely, or you can ask any mother. She can explain you that it is not easy to give birth. It is very, very painful. And it is a part of our human life. Krishna explained to Arjuna in the 13th chapter, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukha Doshanu Darshanam. Understand the reality of life. It is birth, that in between there is old age and disease. And no one is exempt. Everyone has to go through these four. But if you put Krishna with it, then things become easier. Easier means you know what you're doing. Just like most of us take medicine, we don't know the medicine. But one who has learned medicine, when he takes medicine, he knows how the medicine works. That is the difference. So if you are learned in the scriptures, you can understand this this process very, very well. So here it says that the Supreme Lord manifested into many. So there is a famous line, it's called Eka Bahu Shyama. Krishna is only one. But when he wanted to become many, he created so many kinds of beings, including humans. Now, beings also means beings which are going to live in the water, which we call them aquatics. Then those which live on the land and in the water, amphibians. Then there are those which can't move, are the trees and the plants. Those they can fly, they are the birds. They are four-legged, they are called animals, and the two-legged human beings. All these different species, Krishna created. They very nicely explained in Padma Puran by Lord Shiva to Mother Parvati. This is how you see the whole variety of living beings. According to your karma, you can get one of those species, and you can pass your life accordingly. So the Lord manifested into many. And it's not that after manifesting, Krishna is not like us, that many of us create children and then we don't take care of our children. Krishna takes care of everyone, every living entity. And we find that every living entity is actually maintained by Krishna. There's a popular saying that even a poorest man, he may wake up hungry, but he won't sleep without getting some food from somewhere. Krishna arranges all that. So this is the way of life, and this is the part of life. And the jivas, or we living entities, are separated from the Lord. So we are also, what we call, children of Krishna, but we are separated. That's why we are called Vibhin Amsha. Vibhin Amsha means separated, but not disconnected. Remember that. Vibhin Amsha does not mean that Krishna has condemned you or thrown you away. No. Krishna is a loving father. He still remembers all of us. He knows all of us. He knows each being, even from the heart. What you are thinking, Krishna knows it. In the famous verse of the Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasya chaham hridisha nivashto mathasmriti jnanam apahanam cha Vedese sarvamaham eva vedyo vedanta kritvedeva chaham. That from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. And it is it is me who is to be known throughout the Vedas. I am the complier of the Vedas, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Krishna is everything. So by understanding Krishna, you can understand everything. And so this section of Bhagavatam is teaching you each of your organ, each of your sense. And we ought to know this knowledge so that we know that how all these demigods are working for Krishna. And they are doing wonderful job. I had given one example from the Hitopanishad earlier. You can recall it. This is a very famous example. Prabhupada also quotes in his lecture. That once the senses were discussing in themselves, the eyes were saying that, oh, I am doing a lot of work by looking everywhere and protecting the living entity. Ear says, yes, I'm hearing so many sounds. Nose said, I'm smelling. Mouth said, I'm speaking, I'm tasting. Hand said, I'm working. Leg said, I'm walking. So they decided that we are all working, but one sense is not working. He's enjoying. And which sense was that? The stomach. Stomach is not a sense, it's an organ. So they decided that he's just eating. We work for him, he eats. He's like a boss, like the boss. So what they decided, will not send any food to the stomach. So they refused to send food to the stomach. Ultimately, they themselves became weak. Because when no food goes in your stomach, all your senses become weak. Even the medicine says, even the brain can't work without little glucose inside. Glucose comes from sugar. And every food is a kind of a sugar, somewhere or another. From the food, the sugar is created, or the glucose is created. So if the sugar does not reach your brain, the brain can't work. Just like if you don't get sometimes you fast even a half a day, it's not very easy. When you eat a little food, then our brain becomes good. We can start thinking. Otherwise, we can maybe just chant, but we can't think. So if you want the brain to work, there is a necessity of food. In the similar way, all the organs are working, doing different activities. And the stomach is providing energy to everyone, which will be mentioned in the verses to come. And the activity in the stomach, the controlling fire is called Vaishnavara. If you read the Bhagavad Gita, I think in the very first chapter, Srila Prabhupada speaks about Bhima. Bhima is called Vrikota. Vrikota means one who does extremely great activities, very strong. But at the same time, the fire in his stomach is constantly burning, that he has to eat such a big quantity. And this is how he survives. In a similar way, without our stomach, we can't live. And without evacuating, we can't live. And without breathing, we can't live. And the verse which we are just reading is regarding what you call death, life and death. Prana Vayu gives you life, and Apana Vayu will bring you death. It means it will squeeze all your air out, and then you die. And so you find many people who die in accidents when the car gets squeezed. You might have heard some incidents or accidents, how people got squeezed in a car and they died. Or sometimes if you didn't get air, you get suffocated and you die. So air is so important. We have one devotee guest who came from India. He's going to be with us for a week or two. Yesterday we went for a kirtan. The moment we came out from a kirtan, he smelled the air. He said, such a nice air. I said, what do you mean such a nice air? He said, you can't get this air in New Delhi. So polluted. And he kept like breathing. He says, pure air, clean air. You can't get this air in New Delhi because it's so polluted. So imagine Krishna has created everything so nicely. And it is we human beings who want to ruin everything. So Prabhupada says that if you more you stay closer to nature, you be happy, healthier. You stay away from the nature, you try to live with your artificial way of life, you become diseased, you become stressed, and your life will become short. And so the people who stay in the villages or up country, they have a longer life. And people who stay in the cities, their life becomes short. Because everything is contaminated, including the air, the water, and name it. Then in our modern life, we simply don't care for anything. We don't want to walk. In Nairobi, I realized that some people staying just 1 kilometer away, he'll take an Uber to come to temple. He doesn't want to walk. People don't want to walk, they want to use a facility, but they will become older very fast. And then you are drawing your death closer. And I was reading some statistics regarding a child, that these days in the modern culture, there are many mothers who don't want a child. So you guess how many abortions take place in 1 year? Can anyone like to guess? How many abortion takes place approximately? Anybody likes to try? They kill their children within the womb. Anybody likes to try for a figure? Anybody? Indulekha Mataji, would you like to try? Omila Mataji? Yes, Indulekha?
You mean how many abortions are being practiced?
Yes, abortions take place every year. I'm not saying few years, in 1 year. It is 56 million.
Yes, Prabhuji. I was going to say about million. Yeah.
So imagine when people died 64 crores, they think, oh, it's a big number. But what about the big number killed by mothers, or maybe due to some situation that we kill children within the womb? And this is going on in the modern life. Formerly, nobody would kill a child. It's considered a sin, and it is a sin to kill a child in the womb. It is considered very, very sinful. Because in your next life, either you'll become the child or again you'll have to become the mother and do the same thing again. So this is, Bhagavatam opens our eyes and it gives you a vision so that we should see things as they are and understand the reality. How Krishna is managing everything, that for each of our senses, he has given a deity who is taking care. And there's a deity for the eyes, for the nose, for the ears, even for blinking the eyes. And we learn today even for evacuating. The deity is called Mitra. And the deity he kept, or the part of the organ he kept for our life, and that is our navel. So in this way, if nothing is in our hands, everything is completely controlled by Krishna. In other words, we are not independent. It's only that we are in ignorance, we think we are important. That's why Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Krishna bhulya jiva bhogavan chakare pachati mayatare japatiyatare. The meaning is that upon forgetfulness of Krishna, the Maya will trouble you again and again, and we become miserable. So if you see anyone in your life not happy, the main reason, 90 99% reason is due to forgetfulness of Krishna. So when you read this section of Bhagavatam, we come to realize that even our body is functioning due to Krishna, and that every part or every organ is working due to Krishna. Just some verses ago we spoke about how the eyes can see. If there is no light, the eye is just like a camera. It can't see anything. And no message will go to the brain. Ears are working, nose is working, hands are working, legs are working. Everything is fully dependent on Krishna. So as we read further, still more organs will be explained. Like in the next verse is regarding the heart. And then later on, many other organs will be explained, simply to make us understand so many things like how life is going on, and that we are totally dependent on Krishna. But if we accept our dependence on Krishna, we are devotees. If we are independent of Krishna's control, it means we are asuras. We don't care. If you hear about the asuras, they don't care. The main difference between asuras and the demigods is the demigods accept supremacy of Vishnu or Krishna, and the demons or the asuras don't accept. And they do nonsensical things. As if you, I think it's in the 8th canto, there's the explanation of Samudra Manthan, how the ocean was churned, and then how the nectar was extracted. And before even the churning started, Lord Vishnu told both of them that you can't do on your own. He told the demigods, you need the help of the demons. So the asuras went one side, the demons went one side. It was like a tug of war. And when the demigods said that we'll use the rope, Vasuki is a snake, we'll use the head, our side, you use the tail, and how you know how the demons are. No. We will use the head, you take the tail. And Vishnu told the demigods, yeah, you follow that. Not knowing that when the churning was going on, so much of vapor was coming out from the mouth of Vasuki that their bodies became almost poisonous. So this is why all this is explained, so that we come to realize the divine nature, the demonic nature, including our bodies, our mentality, our thinking, our intelligence, and finally we understand that Krishna is supreme and cause of all causes. Hare Krishna. Any additions? Or any questions?
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for this excellent class today. Are there any questions or comments from the group? It just shows how... Yes,
Hare
yes.
Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, everyone. Please can you accept my humble obeisances. So good to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhuji, nice class. As usual, as Mataji said, you never miss. And I'm so fortunate that on Wednesdays I'm free. I'm there for sure. Because I love your classes. I think Krishna says, okay, let me give you Tuesday free. Yes, Prabhuji, very well explained about all the deities, about all the gods, the demigods who control each of, because we said there is 33 million demigods.
300. Yes.
20 crore, right?
Yes.
So as we mentioned before, even for the chicken pox, there is Sitala Devi. Kritika Mata, she was laughing when we were talking. She remembered, right? I just remember the name Mata. They would say Mata has come. When we were growing up, Mata has come, Mata Agai. That means that you have to give something like, we call it Shirni. I don't know if you know about it. They take the black chana, the gram, and then they will soak it and then offer with rice and offer with sugar and whatever. I don't remember too much, but my parents were doing. So each and every, so in the morning, I don't know if anybody remembers when we do the arti, even at home when I do the arti, and the temple also, after offering the diya to the main deities, to Krishna, to Radha, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we turn around and we offer the lamp around.
Yes.
So in the temple, people will just wave their hand and take the arti, right? Which is wrong, because this that we are doing around is for the devis and devtas.
Yes.
And then we offer to the gurus and all. That's why we turn around and offer to everyone. I just say for all this, and then we offer to Mother Earth, Dharti Mata. We lower the lamp a little bit and offer to Mother Earth. That is also there. So also, Prabhuji, you said about there is birth and death, and in the middle there is life. But B and D, in the middle there is C, right? B, birth, D, death, C is C are our choices. What choice do we make in life? If we think that we are independent, that we don't need the help of anyone, even evacuating, we need the help of air, push it down, right? What you talk about everything in life. Walking, talking, seeing, everything, we need the power from behind. But people take it for granted. Even giving birth is so difficult, so painful. As much as a mother suffers, the child suffers similarly, same pain. But Krishna helps the child through the process to forget everything. And the mother's naturally seeing the child, love of the child, forgets the pain, right? But it is there, right? So our choice is there. Our choice is, what do we want to do with this life? Now, if we don't have the knowledge, how are we going to think about the life? What is it? Why I'm here? Why have come here? Why is this body? Why me? There are people out there more beautiful, more powerful, more rich. They have everything. But then no, this is my karma. I decided to come back. It's not Krishna. Krishna didn't give me this karma. Karma I created. So now, when we get this knowledge, let's go forward. Let's dig into it. Let's read Prabhupada's book and understand. I don't read. I listen more. I do Shravanam more. Shravanam Kirtanam, I do Shravanam Kirtanam. Reading is a bit less for me. But still, I do whenever I have to when I get the chance, or whenever I have to do some researches, I do read. But choices, the C is in the middle. That we should not forget. B, D, C in the middle. That is ours. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So that C can also be translated as the desire. It is our desire whether to live a Krishna conscious life or to live a demonic life. But if our desire is turned towards Krishna, then the life becomes fruitful. It has a meaning. And the answer is happiness. We live a happy life. I mean, if we live a happy life, we will live with Krishna. So the choice should be to desire the lotus feet of Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, desire also. There are desires, not desires. But our desire should be there. People say, oh, if we have desires, it's bad because we have material desires. Our desire should be to serve Krishna. That should be our desire.
All the desires should be connected to Krishna.
Yes, to Krishna.
These days, people want a beautiful wife. Connect her to Krishna. Then your wife become a devotee wife. You want to buy a car, think of Krishna, so that your car goes to temple daily. And you visit temple, do not misuse your car. Whatever it is. I can read that section where Prabhupada explains very nicely. If you go to the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, I think it's verse number 71, if I'm not wrong. Vita Vihaya Kamanya, something like that. Let me just find the verse. Almost towards the end of the second chapter. Yes, it is 71. A person who is given up all desires for sense gratification who lives free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship, is devoid of false ego. He alone can attain real peace. Now, if you go to the purport, Sri Prabhupada says, to become desireless means not to desire anything for sense gratification. In other words, desire for becoming Krishna consciousness is actually called desirelessness. If your desire is to remain Krishna conscious, then all those useless desires will go away. And your desires will become relishable. You'll enjoy your life because you can't live without a desire. The only thing which can live without a desire is a stone. We are not stones, we are living entities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
You have pointed out reality, how we live and how we should live. This earth is polluted, it's so damaged that even if you try to climb out of it, it's so difficult.
Yes.
It's not easy, because even if you're a devotee, a real true devotee, we all disintegrate. We have disease the same way as the ones that abuse their body. Maybe they live a bit longer, maybe not. But everything, it's man-made. We have destroyed this earth, so we have no purity. We have no pure food, no pure air. No, it's sad, and we're all clambering over each other to chase the pound, and the pound is faster than us. And in your case, maybe it's dollar. I'm not sure what kind of money you have there, but people are just running and trying to get richer and better materially, and but they're frightened. Everybody's frightened. There is no space for slow down and be happy, and there's only a few trying. And we can only try. So it's not it's not easy, even the food you eat, you don't know what you're eating, who's cooking it, how clean they are. We try to follow all the etiquette and everything, but it's not as easy. But it's good. It's good you point out reality, because although it's frightening, it's at least you can sieve it out a little and get the best out of it.
Yes, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
We make Sri Prabhupada's Guru Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj says that there's always a shortage of one commodity in the world, and that is Krishna consciousness. If everyone becomes Krishna consciousness, the earth can be saved, air can be saved, water can be saved, everything can be saved. But people don't want to live. That's why Sri Prabhupada wanted us to live a very simple life. And in the future, he says that you will not be able to live in the cities. You'll have to go to countryside and live on the farms. Then you live, then you can practice Krishna. Because in the future, even the cities, you will not be able to practice Krishna consciousness.
It's all fast food. People don't have time for each other anymore. It's so sad. Yeah.
Just a few years ago, we cared for each other. Now nobody cares for nobody.
Totally.
Today, modern people, they don't care even for the elders. They have no respect for the elders. The elder people are put into an old age house. They say, who cares?
Yeah.
There's so much cruelty in our heart. And we are simply become carefree. We don't care. The parents who raised us up, we forget them. We don't care for them.
Yeah, I see it all the time. Yeah.
Yes. This is a story you hear every day.
Every day.
Every day.
And the most the one that surprise us is the ones that you never expect them to put their family in the care home, but they do, because they think of themselves. I can't live, I can't earn money, I can't do this, and that's it. It just tear your life apart, really, because they're not happy, and the people and I see these people crying out in the units for their family, You know, it's
Yes.
so sad. And even when they die, they don't have these, it's such a, you know, no respect really.
Yeah, we are losing respect. We are losing our good etiquette.
Values.
Yes, and I think we are not heading our on in our civilizations. We are going reverse. We are going the other way around.
Mm.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Hari Paul.
Hare Krishna. Okay, if there's nothing more, probably we can close the session.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Path Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Will you be able to close the
Hare Krishna. Yes. Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji, for your nice class. Today we understand one thing, why you are connected by navel from our mother, then the newborn child is usually connected.
Yeah.
Because the Garbhodakasai Vishnu, the Brahma is connected to the
Yes.
Garbhodakasai by his navel.
Yes.
So this is the relation from the Supreme Personality of Godhead to all the human beings. So nice explanation. And it is a very nice to understand that one, why you are connected in that way. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for your nice class. Also, thanks all the devotees who are joining here. So I request everyone, please unmute yourself and chant Hare Krishna mantra for glorification of His grace, Rukma Prabhuji. Please join. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Jai. Shri Prabhupada
Jai
ki
Rukma Prabhu.
Jai. Hari Hari Bol.
Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam
Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much
Hare
for
Krishna.
ending the session. Hare Krishna.
Thank you everybody for one.